There's a lot to learn. Some of the other hazards I experience are things like walking through stone walls. I don't know if you cross a lot of stone walls in your research, but one day I was going a little too fast and there was barbed wire across the stone wall, and that caught my foot, and so I just ended up tumbling off the wall and into more barbed wire. And I realized, I didn't have a cell phone with me. I didn't tell anyone where I was. These are all things I had to learn. I write about them in Digger Down. It's like you've seen the movie Black Hawk Down. That's why I called it Digger Down, because I had all these experiences. I was learning things not to do. And my wife says, well, if you learned what not to do, why are there 14 chapters? I said, because, everything was a learning experience. But I remember that day being dazed and kind of dizzy, sitting on the stone wall saying, why did I do this? Why didn't I tell my wife, what if I can't find my way out? Fortunately, I was only about 300, 400, maybe 500 feet from the hospital. So if I needed to, I'm sure I could have dragged my way to the hospital. But again, another lesson I learned. One other time, I snuck into the woods thinking I want to be where nobody knows where I am. And I said, that's my best scenario. If I'm in a dump, I don't want anyone to know I'm in there. And I failed to tell the neighbors. I failed to tell my wife. So while I was in there, I heard this thing that sounded like a bullet shot come over my head. And I thought, maybe somebody saw me come in here and is not too happy with me. So I was down there below the bank, and I thought, well, I'll just be quiet for a little while. So a couple minutes went by, and I started digging again. And then I heard that same crack go through the woods, and I saw some leaves kind of drop. And I thought, somebody knows I'm in here, and they're taking shots at me, and they think it's funny. So I tried to peek my head up, and I couldn't see what was going on, but I said, well, I was in the military, and I survived. I learned how to crawl below the bank, and I learned how to let the bullets go over your head. So this kept going on for a while, and I said, I'm going to sneak, I'm going to outflank them, and I'm going to come around the side of the bank, down through the woods, and come up behind them. And so I did that. I finally resolved, I'm getting out of the woods. I'm going to try and get out with my life. But, if I die, at least I'm doing what I like. That's what they always say. If he died, at least he died doing what he enjoyed. I don't think that's any consolation. But so I snuck up around, and I came up. I could see the house where the things were coming from, the projectiles, whether it was bullets or I didn't know. And I came around, and I snuck up in back of the house, and when I got up close, I looked around the corner, and I could see the two perpetrators. It was two kids, like about 12, 14 years old, and I thought, I'm going to get them. And I couldn't see what they were holding by the side of their legs, but as I came up, one of them lifted it up, and they were just practicing their golf swings. And they had been putting rocks and golf balls on tees and just hitting them into the woods. Yeah, if you've ever heard a golf ball go through the trees, it just, and if it hits a tree, it smacks. So I thought, man, I was scared. But I came out of there fine, just my pride a little bruised. I'll tell you one last story, and this is my chapter 1. My wife said, don't put that in the book. I'm a school teacher. And I said, no one's going to care. She said, I have to uphold my reputation. Local police can't know what, can't read that. And I said, I won't tell anyone. And then I ended up putting it in the book. I said, this is just too funny. There was one day, the Bridgeton Town dump had opened up a huge pit in the dump. And I was by there throwing stuff out that day. It was like Friday. And I looked and I said, look at that whole thing is shimmering with glass. That's got to be a gold mine. I said, I'll come back when, another time, maybe when the dump is closed. So I went to Connecticut for the Friday and Saturday. We had to do something. We came back Sunday late and it was dark. And I thought, oh no, my opportunity to get in there is going to end. Monday they'll fill it back in. So I said, can you bring me down there and just drop me off? She said, no, absolutely not. I won't be involved with this. I said, you don't have to be involved, just drop me off. So finally she said, he's not going to let up. So I dressed in all black, I covered myself up. I said, I know, you guys are thinking I'm a criminal. I'm reformed. So finally, I got my flashlight, a couple digging tools, and I said, just drop me. It's all you got to do, then you go your merry way. Pick me up in about an hour. So she dropped me off. And, you know, it was fine. I slipped past the fence, slipped right into the hole. So there I was, you know, I get this huge wall of glass all around me. It's about 10 feet deep. And I see her drive off, and I thought, good, I'm good to go. So I was poking around, finding glass, but I was having a real hard time because it was kind of frozen into the dirt. It was that time of year where the glass is just too frozen. And I worked at a bottle for probably the whole time. I was working the base of one bottle that was sticking out. When I finally got it out, it was like a 1950s beer bottle. So I was kind of disappointed, but after that, I said, all right, it's time to leave, and I got up, snuck out of the pit, nice and quiet, didn't bother anyone, and I got to the entrance of the gate, and a car went by. I think it was the police car was going by at that time, but I kept my head low. You know, I knew how to deal with this stuff. And then I see my wife come by, and I shine the light at her, like, here I am, pick me up. And she just went right past me and left me there. I thought, what's wrong with her? That's my pickup ride. You know, something wrong with this picture. So I start walking, and it's pitch black. The road is dark, and it's late. I'm walking up the road thinking, boy, she's not very good at this. So finally, at the intersection, I see a car waiting. And I thought, all right, that's got to be her. Got up to the intersection. Sure enough, she opens the door, says, get in quick. We're leaving. I said, yeah, no big deal. As it turns out, the whole time from when she dropped me off to the time that she saw me and picked me up again, she had this idea that the police were chasing her. So she said, as soon as I dropped you off, a police car went past me. So I thought, yeah, well, that's probably normal. She said, no, I think somebody called and saw you go in. She said she went to the gas station and said, you know, here it is 9 o'clock at night. She said, I'll just go in there. She got to the gas station, and there was a cop car parked there with a cop inside. She said, I'm just going to go in and buy something. She got in there and didn't have any money. She started looking for money. She realized, I think she found a quarter or something, was able to buy a piece of gum. And I told her, I said, that looks more suspicious than just going home, you know. But she's like, oh no, you know, now she's really thinking, I'm going to kill him when I get home. So she started to head into town. She said, she thought, well, if I make it look like I was really doing some business in town, I'll be all right. She headed into town, passed a police car, probably that same one that she crossed on the dump road, again. And so this went on for quite a while. And on the way home, she saw me, and she was following a police car, and she saw me with a light. She said, I wasn't going to pick you up. I was never going to do anything for you again. And I just tried to tell her, you know, it's all in your head. You know, the guy was probably just doing his normal patrols. And again, it was an interesting, I got to tell this to the town of Bridgeton, and I think the town manager was a little concerned about me, but I told him it's a lesson learned. Next time I'll get permission. In any case, one of the best finds I've ever had, well, I've had a lot of interesting finds. I'll try to go pretty quick and then open it up for questions and answers. I was at a dump in Bridgeton once digging, and all the stuff was fairly new. And I said, well, this is junk. Why would I want to even keep anything? It was 1950. 1950s glass, you know, new stuff. You could tell it was made by a machine because the seam goes all the way over the top. Like, I may have one of those here. Not very old, not interested, because if a machine made it, they made a million of them. So here we are. I'm digging away, finding a few little things, and I saw this peanut butter jar in the shape of an elephant, and it said Jumbo peanut butter on it. You've heard of that, probably. It's not that old, is it? I don't think. So I tossed it aside, thinking it wasn't very old, or knowing it wasn't old. And that night when I got home, I was just looking through the eBay sales, and I saw a peanut butter jar. It said Jumbo peanut butter, and it was at $150. I went back that next day and found that jar and put it on eBay because it didn't interest me, and I got $134 for it. So you just never know. You know, I have found a lot of interesting bottles. I don't think I've found that one that's going to pay the mortgage yet. Although, when I get done with this gentleman's house, an 86-year-old guy that's got boxes and boxes filled, I don't even think we could look through them. I'm going to have to take, you know, months to browse through and see what's in there. But maybe I'll find that one that'll pay the mortgage. Now you guys probably find, what, gold nuggets and gold coins? Is that?
I wish it was that easy.
Really? In any case, to wrap this up, when my wife finally said it's you or the bottles, I started thinking, if only I had a place to display. Then I got a call one day and said, well, we're the old Jones Museum. It's shut down. Everything's been sold and auctioned off. But the building has display cases. Would you like those? Can you use them for your glass? I don't know how we made that connection. But when I said I could use that, I'm thinking about setting up a museum. Well, there was all the display pieces I need. All the educational material I needed. All the books. I mean, there were thousands and thousands of books. They actually hired me to clean the place out. And as we were cleaning it, I mean, my brother helped me clean it, and he was like, wow, there's, you know, they're throwing stuff away. It just got rotted and destroyed. But I was able to salvage the glass cases and clean them up, get the lights working again. And there was one display. I went in this Jones Museum like 25 years ago when I first came to this area. And I remember I walked in the door and there was one big display. It was beautiful. It was a glass case that was, you know, it just wouldn't fit in any normal room. And I said, well, that's a really cool display case. Well, when I went back it's about 3 years ago now, that display case was sitting there empty, unused. And I thought, if there was any way I could get that out of the door, I'd love to take it. But it's huge. Then we started thinking, well, why couldn't we take the plexi top off, lift it off, roll that out the door, take the wooden bottom, roll that out the door, and, you know, take as much weight off. Well, that piece now is in the Naples Glass Museum. So it worked out really well. So when the stars line up like that, like someone calls you and says, hey, I got a tip on a place where there might be a lot of good coins or whatever, I usually jump on that. If somebody says, you know, I think there's a lot of old glass in this bank, let's go down and dig it. So in this case, the stars lined up. I was looking to display my material. The Jones Museum was looking to clean out their museum. My wife was ready to kick me out. Everything was just lining up just right. And then the final key was the town of Naples having a building that they were vacating right on Route 302. Old 1830 brick building was going to be empty. So I went to the town and people said, oh, the town won't let you use that for business. And I said, yeah, but it's a museum. They said, yeah, but you want to make money, right? I said, I'd love to make money, but I'd just love to operate. So I went and pleaded my case with the town officials, and they said, you know, that's probably, since we only have 2 historic buildings in the town of Naples, it's probably a good use for it, is to put antique glass in there and just let it be a showroom. So I leased it from the town for the first 2 years, and just last week I renegotiated my lease for next year, and we'll probably go year to year. But it's a very favorable lease now. It works out good, so we'll be there for a while. So please come by, show me stuff. I find things.
What is that?
Does anybody want to take a shot? If you get it right, you win my brother's Civil War buckle that he found.
You win that gold coin.
Yeah, you can win this coin. Oh, I shouldn't say it because you might all get it right.
Something for bees?
What did you say?
Something for bees?
For bees?
No?
That's a good option. What?
A fly trap or something.
Fly trap? It looks like a fly trap, but you're not. You're close. You got the trap right.
Is it underwater?
Somebody said it. It's a fish trap.
It's a minnow catcher.
It is a minnow catcher. And I didn't know what it was when I saw it. I actually found it from a guy who had it displayed.
It says it on the bottom.
Does it say minnow? Stream edge.
In the water, they can't see the holes.
Stream edge. So it's a fish trap. It's got these little things. I mean, some of the things I've had people come in and suggest,
very unique.
I couldn't even say because this is a full family event. One old man, he is about 80 years old. He said, "Is that something guys stand around?" I said, "No." I won't tell you what he said. Anyhow, the minnows get in it and they can't get out. So it's kind of a neat, unique bottle.
Imagine trying to blow that. Make that.
Yeah, I don't know how you would make that because you had
It's soft enough, they probably just put a rod in it.
Yeah, when it's still soft, you'd have to press the glass in. This inside, you can feel it's cut. So the sharp edges in there. Just an interesting piece. Not terribly old, but very unique.
Those are the good things to find.
Yeah.